Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry for the delay a bit. We were just getting a bit late starting and having a bit of a chat prior. But yeah, we're back here as usual every Sunday without missing a beat. So um, you know, we've been doing this for years, and some of the content that we get on and talk about is, yes, it's not directly related to crypto sometimes. Um, because because we catch up and stuff. So this is like a catch up as well with Garth and I, and anyone who wants to um, actually have a chat or come on, you're quite welcome to actually just to let us know in the Discord. Um, so we come on and have a bit of a chat, and then that's why we sort of talk about heaps of other stuff as well. So, but we still are doing crypto, and we say the same things, which is why we it would be boring just coming on saying the same thing all the time. So that's why we kind of say other things and talk about other stuff we're doing as well, obviously. But anyway, how's your week been, Garth? What's been happening in your neck of the
Yeah,
woods?
it's been pretty busy. Busy. There's been lots of natural disasters in Australia right now. Now the whole Australia is on fire. There's like fires everywhere. It's pretty crazy. I haven't kept track of how many fires, but literally every day there's like a fire somewhere. And yeah, because it's just been really hot and windy, very windy and hot. So and hot meaning, I don't know, 31, 33 degrees type days plus hot winds. So yeah, so that's what's been happening. The weather's been pretty wild. What else? I've heard
It's always extremes. It's either flooding, it's really cold. It's always, what I mean?
yeah.
Crazy.
And I think like last week or something, it was even snowing somewhere down south. Like that's how big Australia is. It's just like extremes from one end to the other. What else? In oh yeah, there's the inflation data came through, and so also what's funny is happens in America and also happens in Australia, right, at different times. America, inflation data didn't look good, meant inflation was going up, and they're probably going to raise their rates in the Feds, right? And then Australia, basically well, it was actually not very far off because today is the 29th of October, and the first Tuesday of the month in Australia every month, RBA meet. They decide whether or not they're going to put the rates up. Well, there's already talk about putting the rates up, and because the data for Australia for inflation is not going the way they expect, it's actually getting more. Anyway, a few of the I follow some of the senators in Australian politics. Senators good because they're always questioning politicians and whoever's in politics, and they were talking about like the net immigration into Australia, and the current figures are 550,000 people net into Australia in the last 12 months. So yeah, it's a lot. Like Canberra's only, that's like 3 times the population of Canberra coming into Australia every year. So it's a lot of people, and that's not gross, like how many actually come in versus it's the net, and that doesn't include students and doesn't include working visas. That's actually net immigration. Like the actual gross immigration is like 1.2 million people are coming into the country. But the net is about 5-6, and this is like increased a lot. So, and what this does is when you have more and more people coming into the country, of course, the government has a larger base to tax people on. That's true. That's probably why they want more taxpayers coming into the country. But the thing is that all that puts pressure on basically the housing crisis, which is going on right now. So it seems to be in the media, just all over the place, housing crisis. And with 500,000 people coming in, there's already not enough houses and accommodation for people. So then this automatically pushes up the price for everything, which in turn, creates inflation. Also, since COVID, it was the numbers of how much printed money came out of Australia. So you know how we knew the States printed a lot of money, Well, in Australia, we printed over $500 million, so nearly a half a $1 billion. I'll see if I can get that right. Was it half a million? Yeah, it was I think it was nearly $1 billion. Yeah, I think it was like 500 and something million dollars was printed during COVID in the last few years, which the government doesn't say contributed anything at all to inflation. But so all these effects, and also you got the fuel prices, which I have talked about before. They've come down probably 20 cents, but diesel is still high. It's only about $2 at the moment. But all these things affect the cost of living and the pricing. So what will happen is inflation is going to go up. The RBA on Tuesday is probably going to put the rates up. And every time they put the rates up, people who have mortgages of $500,000 or $1 million or whatever, they're going to be paying extra money, and they're going to get that from somewhere. Regardless of if they've got a job or a business or some sort of income, that money is then going to go to that. And there's a lot of people that are on the brink of being unable to pay their mortgages. So they're going to have to sell their properties or sell their assets and try and close the gap there. But it's basically going to really squeeze out, and anyone that's close to the edge and can't afford it, it's just going to crush them financially. They're going to have to sell their properties, and what are they going to do then? Try and downsize? It's very hard to do that because you would have to go out into a rural area or something like that, but you would not be able to keep the job that you have. Just like if you had a business, you wouldn't be able to relocate to a rural area where it was cheaper. Some people move interstate, which is why Queensland has the most amount of people coming into Queensland, because Queensland is like the cost of living is cheaper than in the other states, and also the prices of property are less compared to, say, Melbourne and Sydney. And so those are all the things that are going on. But yeah, that's kind of like what's been happening this week. Yeah, that's about it. About yourself.
Cool. Yeah, pretty much I've just been sort of doing stuff around the house. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I met a friend. He's come over from a guy I knew from a long time ago on Facebook. Became good mates. So it was good to catch up with him. Probably should ask him if he wants to come on. But yeah, so he's just doing his thing, and he's just visiting and doing some hopping around a few countries. So caught up with him for a few sessions of just hanging out. But yeah, no, it's all good. Lately, I've been looking at the Bitcoin price, and that's gone up. So I want to probably quickly talk about that.
Yeah, it hit 35K, didn't it, from memory?
Yeah, it did. It did hit 35, and that was like because of the
34,977. That was on the 26th.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. The reason why that pumped was because of the well, this was allegedly they had these spot ETF what do you call it, paperwork on the spot ETF, and they were starting to notice some people noticed that BlackRock was starting to launch a spot ETF.
Yeah.
So everyone jumped in it and thinking, well, if they're going to do their spot ETF, there could be could be on the verge of approving a Bitcoin spot ETF. So they kind of like connected the dots. I don't know whether it's true or not, but so that would kind of like make sense, right? Because everyone's like, BlackRock has got 10 trillion in assets under management, and they wouldn't put $1 trillion into Bitcoin, but they'd probably put a few billion first, but they got the funds to throw at Bitcoin, and it would significantly move the market, the needle. So that's what people were doing. They were trying to guess that, well, if these guys are going to come in with let's say $100 billion, that's going to move the needle. I'll get in early now. And that's why you see this huge spike, because people were like, oh shit, the news gets around. You know, it's like with the internet, news gets around fast. And then that's when we saw this huge spike here from 29 to 35. This was because of this news. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet, but it still hasn't moved. It's still gone up and down, but it's still around 34. Now it's 34 too. So this could still happen. I don't know. But if BlackRock,
expect, you know how just to jump in there, you know how there is a lot of Bitcoin that's in the system that people want to liquidate out of. Like, you and I want to hold Bitcoin and make plenty of money on it. But there is, if you remember rightly, remember the exchange that got hacked, right? They're sitting on, they're sitting on plenty of Bitcoin, and their priority is to sell that Bitcoin off, right, and repay back the people that lost their money. Now, every time, like, you hear rumors of it, but every time price goes up, they want to offload their Bitcoin and get their money back to recoup their losses. And so, and they got a lot of Bitcoin. So, but once these players sell out of those positions, it moves, like there's nothing holding it back anymore, really. That's the big thing, because you've got a lot of people, there's a lot of sell pressure. People don't realize how much sell pressure is on there.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that news, and if it does drop and they do approve this spot ETF on Bitcoin, that means that BlackRock will actually have to go and physically go and buy. Well, not physically, but you know what I mean, right? They have to, well, physically in the sense that someone's going to have to physically go and buy it, because there's nothing physical about Bitcoin. But physically they're going to have to buy the Bitcoin, because that's how a spot ETF works. Yeah. So that's why spot ETFs are way better, in my opinion, for Bitcoin than futures, because it's just all fucking numbers. But with the Bitcoin, they have to physically hold the Bitcoin. They can't say, hey, we've got $100 billion worth of ETFs here on Bitcoin. They need to physically have $100 billion worth of Bitcoin. Yeah. So, and that's probably the custodian of that will probably be. There's a few of them, but there's So that's all. I think it'll come about eventually. So that'll be good. Here, have a look at this 23Q23 report here on CoinGecko. It's always good read. I do want to talk about Friendtech. So it's kind of like this latest pump and dump lately. Okay, so I can't enter because I don't have an account, but it's basically Friendtech is basically NFTs, kind of like NFTs, but they call them keys, and people buy these keys and they follow these people like influencers, right? And what happened on Friendtech was this guy called starts with a V. Anyway, he's like one of the biggest bag holders, and he had hundreds, if not thousands, of people buy his keys. So he was like one of the biggest. And then what he recently did, like a couple of days ago, was he dumped all his keys, sold off, and the price of his key, like just think of it as an NFT, dumped 75%. So it's just exactly like NFTs. When you buy into the NFT, right, and there's enough people buying it, so think like Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? People were buying Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the price kept on going up and up and up and up, because everyone held the floor, and the floor kept on going up. I'm talking about the floor, right, which is the lowest price. And it's like this with these keys, right? Everyone's just holding, and the price goes up and up and up. So if you get in early on these things and you're buying them for, I don't know, $100 a key, and it goes up to like I think it was like 1 ETH or something like that. You're obviously going to make a shitload of money, and that's what he did. And he cashed out, and then the price dumped. So what he's done is now he's kind of like left Friendtech, and now I think he's still on it, but he's dumped a lot of his keys. Now he's moved on to this new Bitcoin City, which you can get access to because you don't need to count. But it's the same deal. Here it is here. Vom Bettabus, I don't know the percentage he gets, but he gets a percentage. But his volume's 33 Bitcoin. and you buy a key, you get access to his private posts and you get to send him direct messages. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to pay. What? Look at this farm. This guy here, 1 hour ago, Food Farmer bought. Okay, he's smart. He only bought 0.000088. But you can buy, like, if you buy a key, you can buy up to 0.01 Bitcoin or 1 Bitcoin.
Wow.
Sorry, 1 key. Oh, actually, I don't know. I haven't, but that's because I haven't bought it. But 1 key is, see, the trading fee is 2%. The creator gets 8%. See, so I'm not sure how this works. I don't know whether that's amount of keys, 0.1. Okay, gotcha. So 0.1 is 1/10 of a key, and then 1 is obviously 1 key. And he's currently 1 key is worth, I'm assuming this is it here, 0.828 Bitcoin, which is 2,823. That's what I'm assuming how that works. So if you look at his volume, he's raised, go back here, 33 Bitcoin. So you're 33, but he's got 8% of that. So you better figure it out. What's 30? That's $1 million. That's 80,000. He would have made $80,000 already just from this, by people buying his keys. So
I don't think New Bitcoin City is going to be here in 12 months. That's my prediction.
Well, this is the thing. If these influencers are now, so all these influencers here, these top guys here, these like all these guys on the page that you can see, right? All these guys are basically dictating. They can basically dictate the traffic, or if they go somewhere, they'll go. They can dictate it, right?
Yeah.
And when they jump ship, like here, they go from one platform to the next platform. They can basically get together, behind closed doors and go, okay, guys, you ready? We're going to fucking dump all our shit on Bitcoin City. And then we're going to go to the next bright, shiny object, the next app or the next platform, which will be basically the same thing. So what I'm saying is don't get involved in this, because they've done it already on Friendtech. Now they've moved to New Bitcoin City, and you bet your ass they're going to do it again. They just need stupid enough people to follow them and buy into this stuff. Now, I reckon that these guys here, they're probably buying into this early. It's the only reason why I can think. Why would you buy nearly $3,000 on a key unless you're buying this thing for like 10 cents or $10 or $20? And then obviously they're riding in everyone that comes after you. The price goes up and then you sell, right? I think that's basically what's happening. So don't get involved in this stuff. In my opinion, it's a fool's game. If you do, and try to play it that you're in first, and then you can dump before everyone else dumps, that's basically what you're doing. Then good for you, but it's just a fool's game. So that's that. That's this Friendtech Bitcoin that you'll see more and more stuff, more and more people talk about this stuff. Okay, so that's that. I did want to mention that Bitmain is still up to their dodgy stuff, bringing out miners. What did I hear the other day? Yes. Now, talking about this, right? So Bitmain, they're selling shovels. Okay, so the gold rush is Bitcoin. Okay. And they're selling picks and shovels, just like the California gold rush, right? People, thousands, tens and thousands, if not hundreds and thousands of people flocked to the California gold rush in the 1980s, I think, 1880s or whatever, because they wanted to get rich. So they all go, all these people go there. And then what's the first thing they need? They need picks, and they need I need a shovel to mine gold. I need a pan to mine gold. And there's people selling them pans and shovels and all this sort of shit, right? And that's what Bitmain is. Bitmain are selling pans and shovels but it's not to California Gold Rush. It's the Bitcoin Gold Rush, okay? Same deal, right? Now, I've got a little quiz for you and for you guys watching. Who do you think made the most money in the California gold rush? It's actually one person, and there's a name. Now, I'm going to tell you, he,
I don't know.
he sold picks and shovels. He didn't make the most money from mining gold.
Who was it? Was it like a Sears?
No, it was Levi's Strauss. He
Oh,
sold
wow.
jeans. So the miners were like, "Fuck, I need to mine," and what they would wear was jeans because jeans is tough.
Yeah.
So they were mining jeans, and that cloth. That's how the jeans came about because it was hardy.
Wow.
And Levi Strauss, everyone knows Levi's, sold him the fucking. He became rich from, again, gold mine. So Bitmain. So there's a little bit of trivia for you. So Bitmain just they're doing the thing that they normally do. So if you want to buy some Bitcoin mining machines, you're playing with the big boys. Unless you got cheap electricity, then yeah, go ahead. Unless you got like some big ass, unless you live next to some big ass river, and you put some illegal, what do you call it, wind water turbine that's off your property, and you're getting free electricity, then it wouldn't be that efficient anyway. But then again, you get your free electricity, you can mine Bitcoin. So these K3S miners, I mean, they're still making $100 a day, which is pretty remarkable. They still make $125 a day, which is crazy. But the price of them really hasn't moved. And they should have had, because the price of Bitcoin went up. But the price of Casper didn't really. I mean, I don't know. It should have gone up because of Bitcoin. But yeah, I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Yeah, well, it did go up a little bit, but not that much. See, so okay, there you go. In the last 14 days, it has gone from 0.42 to not much at all, really, to be honest, to 5. It's gone up. Fuck, what? Not even. Yeah, still a bit. But then, obviously, these guys here that are mining it, they're producing their Casper, and it's worth more. So that's why this should be a bit of a spike in profitability, but it hasn't. But anyway, still $125 a day. It's pretty good. And these new S-Mine, S21, these are the talk of the town, right? They're not getting released till next year, which is only a couple of months away anyway. So these S21 hybrids, 235 terahash. That's a lot from that little one machine. And it's going to cost you $6,000. It's on pre-order, and ROI is 700 days. But you know what? People still are going to buy this like crazy. And the reason being is because as soon as Bitcoin goes up, this ROI goes down, but they're going to, mine Bitcoin now at 34,000 and hold it. And once it goes to a couple of 100,000, they're going to be laughing. Or it goes to 500,000 or whatever, 600,000, whatever it goes to. That's where the money is in mining. By mining it now at 34K, holding it if you can, and pay your electricity or some sort of cheap electricity, and then offloading it for 10x. That's where the real money in mining is. So it's one of those things. I mean, mining is one of those things where I just think it's pretty awesome, but it's just too far out of the reach of the little guy now. You used to be able to mine with GPUs and stuff. I mean, you still can, but it's not as profitable as it used to when Ethereum was around, which is sad. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I got there's some info here I just want to share with you about Elon Musk. So Elon, this is a little article, and basically he's talking about, like, how Twitter is now called x.com.
Yep.
So he basically, the main thing about it is he wants to be a financial platform as well, without needing traditional bank accounts. This is what the latest Elon's talking about. They want to be a financial hub instead of using traditional bank accounts. Now, he's in a position to do that because we have a look at what's happened in the last 12 months. Here's an example. Doge Designer talked about since he bought Twitter, now X, rebranded it, launched beta of audio and video calling. Now, I got a message yesterday to say audio and video calling was available. I haven't tried that yet, but that is now built in to X. Also, live streaming. We've done that. Also, they've got ad revenue, like for creators. They create creators twice a month. They've paid out $20 million already. And also, they want to basically, when they did an interview with Musk, according to Bloomberg, and they were talking about the this service called a news wire service, and also they want to be like a news platform as well. And then also they talked about they want to do the financial side of it. So they've got a lot of things going on: the audio, video. They want to have that news, like a dedicated news, and also they want to do finance, kind of like what PayPal had. So they want to have an all-in-one type app, and that's what he's talking about here. So I think, I think it's going to be very interesting. It might take another 12 months, but who's to say that we won't see, be able to, even Bitcoin. I'm sure Doge will be available, but to actually easily work it, like you have no idea what you're doing, but you can create an account and then be able to transfer just like you can now. It's like having a wallet built into X. Maybe that's what they'll do. So, but it's very interesting. So that's just another thing, and that's going to bring it to the masses because a lot of people use X every day, and once they add that in there, it'll be just another thing.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does want to bring power to the people. He's like a billionaire that's against everything that kind of like what billionaires stand for. Billionaires are supposed to be like fucking elites. They don't give a shit. They look down on other people. I mean, he's like direct opposite.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people rally for him. There's a lot of controversy about him and stuff that he with the stuff that he did in Ukraine. Apparently he was like turned off their had something to do with the connection with what's the internet he has. He was sort of messing around with that, which stopped the internet connectivity with the some of the during the war. They were during the war. They needed this. They needed this air. Apparently, there's something to do with that and all that. But I don't know. It's pretty controversial, some of the stuff he does. But it is what it is. I was having a look on the Facebook, and I came across this interesting thing here. I can't find it now. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Here it is. Yeah. It wasn't on Facebook. It was on thing. The Bitcoin Therapist. What do you think the price of Bitcoin will be? So have a think about this, and I'll show you the comments in a second. The price of Bitcoin BTC at the end of 2024. So say Christmas time, New Year's, 0 to 50k, 0 to 50k. A, 50k to 100k. B, 100k to 250k. C, D, 250k to 500k. D, and that's E, other comment. So have a think about that. What do you think? What do you think the most?
Say A,
0 to 50. Okay, so I'll show you the
Christmas, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few comments. There was quite a few comments, memes and stuff. Some random shit. People didn't even answer the question. So yeah, a lot of some people saying 250k, 1 million, 100k. C. I don't know whether they're just copying each other. B, D, B. So we've got a few B's and a few C's. B, D, C, D, B. And it goes on and on and on. C, B, C. So what's that? What was that? It was C.
250 to 500, 100.
Yeah. D. I don't know about D. I doubt. Well, it just depends. I think they're saying D's because of the ETF.
Yeah.
if BlackRock has the ETF. That's kind of a bit of a gamble, but if they do have the ETF does come, which kind of like makes sense. Like if it does come by, it will be done like before the end of 2024. So it's either going to be a yes or a no, right? But if it does, then we could see a $100,000 or $250,000 Bitcoin, or maybe more. It's got to, it's got to do fair whack. I mean, we're at $1 trillion. Just to give you an idea, we're at a fair. Where are we at? 1.25, 1.3 trillion. And I know this is not really the most accurate way to measure it, but how you kind of can, because there's a lot of new coins coming into the market, and they do affect the market cap. But if we just count, kind of like a solid number here of the coins that CoinGecko does have, basically at 1.3 trillion. So, and Bitcoin has it's got a 51%. It's jumped like 5%. It's now more than 50% of the total cryptocurrency market cap is Bitcoin. So that means that basically for it to go to 34, double that to 70,000, another 650 to 700 billion has to come in the market of just the Bitcoin, okay, and then you can do the maths on that. So they're saying what 10x, that going back to that little thing we saw before. If it's gonna be 100 to 250,000, it's gonna have to do like an 8x. So you're looking at 700 billion times 5. You could do a 10x, 650 times 10. Yeah, 700. Yeah, so you say 700 billion times 10. That's a shitload. That's 7 trillion, right? 7 trillion has got to come into the market just on Bitcoin, and the price will be about $350,000 to $400,000 Bitcoin. So that just gives you an idea of a shitload of money has to come into the market. But when we're talking the bigger scale of things, that's really probably not that. It's doable because you got, it's going to be more than one trigger. It's going to be probably in the ETF if it happens, and then it could be like a country failing, or their currency dying. It could just be a couple of little triggers of a few things, and we could see $5 or $10 trillion worth of Bitcoin come into the crypto market just on Bitcoin. No problem. That would happen. No problem if a major bank in Europe collapsed. No problem. People would just they'll be scared as fuck. They'll be like, I need to buy some Bitcoin. I know at least that shit doesn't go down. So that's what we're looking at. But to get to $1 million, we're looking at a 20 trillion. We're looking at 20 trillion. That's a lot. We're only at 1.3 trillion. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how much money is still going to come into cryptocurrency for Bitcoin to get to 7 figures. A lot, but it's doable. Okay, so that's probably it for my neck of the woods, Garth. Without dragging it. Well, look, actually, before we go, we might talk about the conversation. We had a comment from Finney, so thanks for the comment, Finney. And basically, he said he did a comment in the group on Ethereum chat, and he said that that we had a good run during 2021 and 2022, which is absolutely right, Finney. We had a very good run. we're doing heaps of stuff that was really profitable, and that was 2 years ago. So a lot of the stuff in crypto, it doesn't last. And that's why we keep on saying to you guys, just fucking dollar cost average, unless you want to lose your money, and put it all on a protocol which is not even audited. So good point, Vinny. Thanks for that. We appreciate your comment on that. And that is actually true. We did do really well in 21 and 22. We were doing IDOs, we were doing meme coins, we were doing heaps of stuff. I can't remember. We've done so much stuff. But he did say, but he thinks that the value of the group is getting is not astounding lately, and that we sound like we're busy with other stuff, with our private family and business, and we keep on talking about it on the webinars, and that is true. Garth and I, we talk about other stuff as well, because kind of like we're the ones that kind of get on, and we welcome other people to come on, but no one comes on. So, no other people. So if you're watching this, you want to come on, by all means. But if no one comes on, we're going to talk about what we want to talk about, right? So that's the reason why we do that, because we're not going to talk about any shit that's not true or anything. Like, we're just going to keep it 100%, and we're not going to tell you shit that is not even real, So that's why we talk about stuff that involves us, with our really happening in our lives. And we do talk about, look, I'll be honest, I do rabbit on about stuff that I probably shouldn't talk about health-wise, and I'm like, don't take sugar, and I'll say, I'm like, yeah, I should shut up about that, because not everyone wants to hear about that stuff. But, this is kind of like what we talk about, because that's who we are, right? And then he said, I'm kind of lost about the vision and direction of the group. Our members feel free to chip in and thoughts. I mean, I don't get me wrong, you both are pleasant personalities. Well, he's probably talking about you, Garth. You're a pleasant personality. And then it says, nice to listen to you guys. The webinar content is a bit poor lately. Yeah, and look, fair comment. So I did respond to that, and so did Garth, and I'm just kind of giving my sort of feedback. Yeah, fair comment. Look, I agree with what you say, Finny. A lot of the reason why is because the stuff with the crypto stuff is died down, and when there's like nothing really happening, what we consider that it's just sort of bare, and people like kind of disappear. What's there to talk about? We're not going to be saying, hey, go into this thing because you're going to make a bunch of money when we know that it's going to fail. No, we're just going to say, look, you know what, guys, there's not really anything to talk about, but we're here every week turning up. So we talk about stuff that we want to talk about, if that kind of makes sense. So, yeah, fair comment. And we will talk about more exciting stuff. I'm sure we'll come along soon, and we'll be right into it again.
Yeah, I totally agree. And look, it's not like I do follow other channels. And what I can say about it is, I mean, you just go on YouTube, right? And I'm sure you have. Anyone watching this, just go on YouTube, have a look at all these channels related to crypto, these trading channels, these like new coins will tell you about new token launches and stuff like that. And then there's the other crowd where here's our affiliate link to a new thing or something that's been old that pays out money, 1%, 0.5% a day. It's all over YouTube, right? It's literally, but we've seen it, we've been part of it, we're done with it. And that's why we don't really talk about that stuff anymore, because we want to talk about stuff that is like legit, is probably going to last, which is why we talk about Bitcoin and layer ones. And the problem is that it's not like you can just buy the crypto and get paid. It's not like shares, right? If you bought shares and they're paying dividends, you get the dividends. But that doesn't happen with crypto. And people get tricked into going into certain, arrangements or DeFi protocols And the problem is there's so many hacks. I mean, I haven't looked this week, but I could go and look and see and find out how much was hacked out of people's wallets, essentially because they trusted a platform. So, just for fun, let's do that right now. Let's go to, I'll share my screen. Where is it? And this is like, I'm explaining, why we don't talk about all new stuff all the time. Let's say, DeFi Llama. We could be promoting some amazing new thing that pays 0.5% per day or some new protocol. And let's have a look at some hacks. All right. So what's the date today? 29th. So on the 7th of October, 2.6 million was stolen from Stars Arena. And then 25th December, HTX, well, they lost 8 million. And then, on the 23rd of September, database attack for Mixon Network, 200 million. Now, this is just not made up money. This is actually investors' money that bought those tokens. Go back a few weeks, CoinX, 55 million, 12th of September. 40 million, Stake.com, big company associated with Stake.com, private key compromise, $41 million. This is the problem, with DeFi, and we've lost a lot of money ourselves personally from hacks. And this is why we don't jump in and tell people to get into these latest protocols or these latest things where you get paid percentages. There's plenty of them. There's the whole, bunch of them. We could probably make money if we send you there and we think it's a great idea and you think it's a great idea. And it's not a great idea until the day they get hacked or they make off with all the money or completely do a rug pull. And then you're left with no money left, right? And that has happened to us so many times that we just don't want to go there anymore. That's why I just like Bitcoin, because I just need to know my seed phrase and I've got my Bitcoin. That's it. And as long as I don't disclose it to anyone, I'm in control of it. And it's boring because currently it doesn't really pay. You hold Bitcoin, but it doesn't actually pay like a dividend. So those are the sort of things. And as far as the trading goes, a lot of people that make money from selling trading. There's some people that are very good at trading. Both NG and myself have done plenty of trading. And you can get good at it, but usually it takes a lot of time and effort, a lot of money, and a lot of years to do that. So these are the things that we don't necessarily talk about. But when we find something, you'll be first to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we chase those baked beans clones and stuff. So we've done a lot of that stuff, and a lot of it, all of it, didn't go anywhere. So you'd like chasing this stuff, and for what? You know what I mean? So we could have easily told you about Friendtech. Get into that, guys. Get into that. Buy our keys, and then dump on everyone, and then get into the next one, new Bitcoin City, and just become just like what the NFT crowd and the meme coin crowd and all those people that do to make money. Because there's no accountability. There's no accountability in the crypto market. They can just say, "Oh, look, got hacked. Buddy, too bad. You lost your money." So, yeah, it's kind of like we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not being the latest flavor of the week or the month. But that's just who we are. And you bet your ass we're still going to be around. God forbid, in the next 7 years. We might miss a few webinars, or we might even have weekly webinars, but we're definitely still going to be around. We might even have monthly webinars. It just depends. But we'll be around. We'll still be in crypto, and hopefully Bitcoin will be a couple 100,000, or if not 7 figures by then. It's a long time, but hey, 10 years. So yeah, that's basically I want to say about that. So I would say, just hang in there. If you don't want to stay at the because there's different tiers, just go to a different tier. You can still listen to the webinars because the webinars are free, and you can just go into a lower tier. You know, a cup of coffee is not going to send you broke, but it still keeps you, in touch with us. You can still interact with the Discord and stuff. And who knows, something good might come along, or, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We might even create something. We don't know. I'm not saying we are, but we aren't. But I'm just saying we don't know what the future holds. So, just got to remain optimistic about it. Oh, mate. Well, but thanks for your comment. Really appreciate it, and thanks for the feedback. And other than that, mate. Other than if you got anything else you want to close with,
No, I think that's
call it a
about
day.
it. So yeah, we'll see what happens this week. Who knows? It could be a spot ETF, and Bitcoin might move.
It would be nice. All right, guys. Well, have a good week, and catch you next week. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye.